so long.
Is Drew on? I don't see him.
True now.
No,
Hold on.
no, okay.
It's very close.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. 02 PM, we're going to start with a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Sunshine law notice. In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, public meetings may be held in person or by means of communication equipment to include streaming services and other online media platforms. This meeting is being held in person through the Zoom meeting platform being broadcast from Bicentennial Hall, 25 Cedar Avenue, Fairhaven, New Jersey. Public participation in this regular council meeting of May 27, 2025 is available by calling phone number or through web conference Zoom. Members of the public will be on mute until it's time for questions or comments, which will be announced. At that time, the public has the opportunity to question or comment by phone or through Zoom by the raise hand button and will be called on at the appropriate time. Notice of this meeting was included in the schedule of meetings, which was adopted by resolution number 2025-13 and sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on January 7, 2025, posted on the borough website, the bulletin board and municipal building, and has remained continuously posted as required under the statute. With adequate notice having been given, the borough clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of this meeting. Allison, may I please have a roll call?
Councilmembers Paul. Here. Marcel.
Present.
Poe. Yes. Potts.
Yes.
La Barbera. Paulson.
Here.
We also have administrative work, attorney Civil Anana. CFO Britton, engineer Bordella. Parks and Rec Director Britton, and DPW Director Ms. Fortescue. And Borough Clerk Allison.
Single ground. All right, we are going to get to recreation survey. Before we get to that, I just wanted to communicate something that I didn't yesterday. Obviously, I wanted to keep the focus on Memorial Day itself. But I just want to touch on two things. One, I really was excited that every single member of the governing body was there yesterday at the Borough. And I'm not going to name the year, but I remember one year I think there was one person there. It made me feel really good about this group and this team. And I just thought it was a great honor today. So thank you to everyone for showing up yesterday. Secondly, I also really want to point out how smooth a celebration of the day it was. And, you know, all of that credit, it has to go to you, DJ. You know, it was a beautiful parade and a beautiful ceremony, and you did a fantastic job. So, the segue into DJ has a presentation for us on the recreation survey.
Yeah, so thanks for letting me go over survey results. And quickly, just with Memorial Day, DPW is going to cover that as well. Lots of traffic goes into it, not just the day of or a couple days before, but even like the week before, a couple weeks before. There's a lot to get that park with the top tape, which it should be to honor. So, gonna go over these results as a recap. I know that everyone up there has a copy. So these were originally sent out back in January, and they remained active until the end of March, so just over 3 months. They were sent out through all the different various mediums that the town has, constant contact, Mixel, Facebook, multiple times, all those. And the purpose of the survey was to collect meaningful feedback from our community regarding their experiences, opinions related to parks and recreation services. And we had about 170 submits to the survey. So it starts with asking about the ages of the household, so, the different categories were 0 to 5, 6 to 3, 14 to 18, 19 to 29, 30 to 64, and 65 and older. And this just kind of gave us a gauge of the different ages that are going to be in the households taking place that took this survey. Mayor, would you like me to go over the results of each line here, line by line on each number?
You mean each question?
Yeah, yeah. Or because you have it in front of you, is it, what would the preference be? I can read them out.
I think maybe read them out and let's just talk about, the top two results on each one. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
All right, so, just as far as ages go, and it was all ages that are in the household. So, 0 to 5 was 23.53%, 6 to 13 was 64.71%, so a lot.
I just want to reiterate to everyone here, let's let them finish the presentation and then we'll have our questions there. Okay? Sorry, go ahead.
14 to 18 was 17.65%, 19 to 29, 5.88%, 30 to 64 is 71.76%, and then 65 and older was 15.29. Slide over to the next one. The question was, how often do you or members of your household currently participate in recreational activities offered by area recreation? And so regularly, so we did more than 6 times a year, was 52.94%. Frequently, which we categorize as 4 to 6 times per year, that was 15.8%. Occasionally, 1 to 3 times a year, it was 21.76%, and never was 9.4%. So then we asked the question, this is the select all that apply on this one. Which of the following are you or members of your household interested in? The first one is all the different community events. So there's about 10 of them listed out here. Father daughter dances, Easter egg hunt, fishing derby, Memorial Day, parade and ceremony, our summer concerts, camp out movie nights, Halloween parade, Halloween and house decorating contest, Veterans Day ceremony, Santa Claus, Christmas tree lighting, memorial or manure lighting, holiday house decorating contest, and that had 77.3%. We're interested in those. Seasonal youth camps and programs. This is work on tennis, soccer, our parent league classes and camps, track and field, basketball, engineering, science, things like that. 58.9%. Sports leagues was 60.74%. Arts and craft programs would be 26.38. Fitness classes, 22.7. Senior programs, 9.2. Park and recreation maintenance, so your playground maintenance, trail, all that, 54.6%. And then other, the entity that didn't fall in this category, so it's 4.29%. Moving along, so how's that by organizing the overall quality of recreation programs offered by fair here? It's a pretty basic overall question. And so in the very satisfied category, there were 24.07%. Satisfied was 40.74%. Moderately satisfied, 27.78%. Dissatisfied was 4.95%. And very satisfied was 2.47%. So in regard to individual Fairhaven Youth sports leagues that someone in your household has taken part in, what is your general level of satisfaction with the leagues? Very satisfied was 23.61%. Satisfied was 42.36%. Moderately satisfied 23.61%. Satisfied or dissatisfied was 6.94%, and very satisfied was 3.47%. Satisfied with overall healthy, but athletic fields and variables, ball fields, grass playing fields, courts, things like that. Very satisfied was 23.08%. Satisfied was 38.46%. Moderately satisfied was 21.15%. Satisfied 11.54, or dissatisfied 11.54, and very dissatisfied 5.77. Satisfied you with a few of the past parks areas, this would be Memorial Park, Roebuck Park, and all of the areas. Very satisfied here was 20.5%. Satisfied was 50%, moderately satisfied 23.42%, dissatisfied 3.8%, and very dissatisfied 2.5%. So in regards to Fairhaven youth camps and programs that someone in your household has taken part in, what's your level of general satisfaction? Very satisfied, 23.79%, satisfied, 42.65%, moderately satisfied, 24.26%, satisfied, 8.09%, very satisfied, 2.39%. The next question is, please rank the following reasons that someone in your household does participate in Fairhaven recreational offerings, with one being the most important. So this was really a question to gauge why families or individuals would want to participate in something that we're offering, just to sort of frame what we might potentially offer in the future, or just to kind of give us an overarching view of what's most important here. So this is done with Constant Contact. So the way that they rank these types of questions is they give it a ranking score based on, for rank order question, the total score is used to determine the result of reporting. The better the rank, the higher the score assigned. That's how it's going. So a person in your household that has an interest in offering, that was ranked, score of 765. The offering takes place in a convenient location and time that has ranked at 544. The social aspect of the offering is appealing, that is ranked at 503. Moving down, the offering is age appropriate, that is ranked at 405. The cost of the offering is appealing, that was down at 390. And then at 270, the offering has been marketed well, and the household feels that they were made aware of the offering limits. So the flip of that, please rank the following reasons that someone in your household might not participate in a recreational offering, one being most important. So, some similar themes here. So, a person in the household does not have an interest in the offering, was the highest at 62, and the offering does not take place in a convenient location or time, was 538. Offering is not age appropriate for those in the household, was at 517. The cost of the offering is not appealing, was at 358. The social aspect of the offering is not appealing, was at 362, and the offering has not been marketed well, and our household has not been made aware of the offering. Enough notice, was at 357. Halfway through here. So when an event is offered that is age appropriate, that is appropriate for the age group of someone in your household, how likely are they to attend? Very likely was at 28.95%, somewhat likely was 42.76%, not sure was 2.39%, somewhat likely was 7.24%, and very unlikely, just one responded with 0.66%. So rank the most important factors in your decision to attend a Fairhaven recreational event. Type activity came in first there, same thing with the rank order, it's by full score, so this was 638. It was type of activity, the target age range of 497, the day of week, time of day, this at 457, location at 41, and cost at 237. Next question asked about the volunteer opportunities, make sure that we're things like that. These are there. The question is, how aware are you of volunteer opportunities available for Fairhaven recreation programming? Very aware. So I know of many opportunities in a volunteer was at 44.87%. Somewhat aware. I know of a few opportunities, but I haven't volunteered. That's 26.28%. Slightly aware. I've heard there are opportunities, but I don't know where to find them, 17.95%, and then not aware, have not heard of any recreation volunteer opportunities, was at 10.9%. This question asks about the recreation e-classes, is one from town, through Nixle, there's a specific list for recreational events, programs, things like that. So the question is, are you aware that there is a Fairhaven Recreation e-blast list that you can join to receive updates on all recreation offerings? Contact recreation@borough.net to be added. 68.83% said yes, they're aware of it, perhaps they've seen them. 9.74 said yes, they're aware of it, perhaps they're not interested. And 21.43 said no, they're not aware, so they're registered. And there's open-ended questions that we asked here. First of which is there a program or camp that you would like to see included that is not currently offered? As you might expect, we've got a lot of different answers. And government does have all the raw data here of all the different answers that were included. So I'll go through some of the more popular items with the meta concepts I had counted there were mentioned. So senior activities was mentioned 4 times. Water activities, so crab fishing, paddleboard, etc. was mentioned 8 times. Rec and crew camp adjustments. That's our daily summer camp, was mentioned twice. Additional adjustments to camps and sports was mentioned 7 times. Additions and adjustments to league sports programs, sports was another 4. Additions to camps, programs, non-sports, like art and craft, cooking class, things like that was mentioned 4 times. Miscellaneous program interests, so anything from ski trips, after-school programming, workout classes, more bike rodeos, things like that, was at 7 times. That all logistical management of sports leagues by borough professionals, not volunteers, was mentioned twice in this part. Miscellaneous, so general field access, sports needs scholarships, athletic encouragement, equipment costs, things like that. Second open-ended question was really just about anything that maybe we didn't capture or anything we want to add on. So the question was, is there any other feedback you would like to provide that you feel would lead to a more enjoyable recreational experience in Fairhaven? Same thing, tons of different answers. So miscellaneous additions and adjustments to camps was mentioned here 3 times. Miscellaneous adjustments and additions to programming, so seniors, water activities, things like that was mentioned here 4 times. So miscellaneous, so everything from fan behavior to new volunteer groups needed, to communication, the town buying all the equipment for all the leagues was mentioned here. So there's 5 of those. Miscellaneous additions and adjustments to sports leagues, so additional training, more centralized, facility allocation, all those different components was mentioned 14 times. Miscellaneous adjustments to events, so a lot of those events that I just mentioned, and possible new ones was mentioned 4 times. All logistical management of sports leagues by borough professionals, not volunteer groups, was mentioned 6 times. Parks, so enhancements and improvements to our facilities was mentioned 15 times, and then same parks, adjustments, the maintenance and cleanliness of the parks was mentioned 16 times, and then accommodation for recreational quality, diverse recreational programs was offered 3 times. Lastly, overarching question for those with children who have taken part in Fairhaven recreational offerings, how would you describe your child's overall experience? Extremely positive, meaning my child had lasting positive memories was 24.9%, 24.9%. Positive, my child enjoys programs and makes positive memories, 57.66%. Neutral, my child participated, but I don't have strong feelings about their experience, was 15.33%. And negative, my child did not enjoy the programs and did not make positive memories, was 2.92%. And that's all about it.
Great.
So I go quickly and
Thank you, DJ. A few things that just going over that I'm just speaking out loud to here. It doesn't look like cost is the primary driver in what people are using to determine whether they participate in activity. Now, I certainly don't want to price anyone out, but I think that that could potentially drive more ideas. You know, people are looking for exciting activities, and it doesn't mean that that's necessarily the barrier from them participating. So that was one thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed is almost on every single category, the very satisfied wasn't the main selection. It was always the next one down. And what I get out of that is we're doing a good job. We are, but there's always room for improvement too, which is, I think it's actually the best spot you can be, you know, because we can continue to improve the programs that we're offering to our residents. And there is that opportunity to go from satisfied to this is amazing, this is the greatest program that we have. And the other thing I noticed, I want to mention on the recreation mini blast list, I think we're still looking to potentially join 2 more farmers markets this year, and we want to have stuff on the table. So if there's some sort of QR code that we can put up on a big sign, so that the people walking by can just take a picture, sign up fast. I don't know if we can put it on the same thing as the buzz and transfer it over.
So thanks to the 2 council liaisons sitting here, we actually made that up about a month ago. So we had that up where you lived at, so that's.
Yeah,
easy.
we'll
That's
definitely
just
take
right
that.
Perfect. And then the 2 more specific points, which is more just me, you know, giving my opinion. I do think if we can come up with something similar to the fishing derby that is on our river with crabbing, I think it would be a home run. And I think it would encourage a lot of kids that maybe haven't participated in crabbing and their parents don't know how to get started. If they're around people that do know and they can teach them, I think they'll have a long lasting love for it. The last one I have is there is one comment in here about the rec camp, about it would be great if it was phone free. I don't know what the, you know, current guidelines are, but I would, and I know maybe a bunch of kids will hate me for this, I would be strongly in favor of that. If you could get kids away from their phones, you know, a few days a week during the summer, I think the parents will be very appreciative, and quite truthfully, I think they'll get a lot more out of it and a lot more out of being with each other. So those are my goals. Anyone else have anything on the rec survey?
I mean, I'll weigh in. I thought it was great. Sorry, I was gonna say, I thought it was great. I loved your pictures. They were very good. And to be honest, nothing's too surprising to me. I would say that a lot of the feedback is stuff that I've, you know, hear and that I've experienced. So I think this is a really good kind of place to review and like make some changes. I think this is a really good starting point, but I think there's definitely a lot of feedback in here that can help us make some really positive changes. And I'm happy to be on the rec committee to be part of this.
Perspective of maintenance, so this speaks very highly of what you've done. So the people are satisfied with the upkeep of the parks. 93% are almost satisfied, or others. Only 7% are dissatisfied. I think that's outstanding. And then the athletic fields, it's a little bit worse, but still good at 17%. I agree that give people straight 20% goal, sort of playing to below that. Both categories really well.
I mean, I'm familiar with setting out. I think it's great to get the voice of the residents. I mean, I know people appreciate it. And I think 170 people out of whatever 6,500 residents or however many can actually take the survey. It's a great start. So I think it's very good. About 170 people. I think, you know, for me, the themes, and I actually read this projection this week because I'm not more. But you know, the themes around sort of, you know, what was the most pronounced, just curious as to what the plan might be from here. Are we going to solicit more feedback in a targeted way, or are we going to take a look at some short-term action items that we want to act on? You know, think about things longer term, just throw that out as a question. But I think it's a great starting point. 170 people, I think is a good place to start.
Just following up on what you said, are you gonna present some of this information to the rec committee as well? Okay.
DJ, that's all I was gonna say is that, so just to kind of finish up saying, I think, you know, I am certainly encouraged by people to take it, and folks are gonna need feedback and say, okay, I submitted my feedback, now what?
So I just want to be able to be prepared to say, the next step is we're going to the rec committee, and then from there, if there are any short-term solutions that we're thinking about implementing, then what we do.
So what I was gonna offer, Michael, you know, if Mr. York, if you feel this is a good idea, DG will take it up with the committee and maybe kind of look at the analysis in a couple different ways. See what are those things where there was lower level of satisfaction, where are the growth and improvement opportunities?
Mhm.
And kind of look at it from that standpoint. I think there are some strong themes. I probably think there are some short-term,
Mhm.
intermediate and long-term goals to set, but it's probably not for it, but maybe a little bit more nuts and bolts level conversation with the committee. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Yeah, just to add just a little bit on that, I know, Councilman Cole, Councilman Pinocelli, and Mayor Hopper, we discussed a little bit about that. And, our recreation, committee is advisory in nature, and that's almost similar analysis to what the McCarter Pond Committee did. It's great to take these recommendations back, and maybe they can put together an action plan to address some of this and how we can continue to improve it. I think with DJ's presentation and the empirical data we have in the survey, I think you got a great start.
And to your point, Councilman Kelly, we can bring it back.
Yeah.
Obviously. Sound good?
Yep, sure.
Actually, I have a question. So what's your main thing?
Yeah.
What was your?
So I think,
Or?
yeah, I think a lot of different themes around each of the questions and the open-ended questions, I think provide a lot of different feedback. And it's always interesting to see all of the different answers where there's things that we might have not ever thought about. There's things that we're aware of, there's things that are like, oh, wow, that would be kind of cool. Maybe we could do that, or to Mayor Hopper's point, wow, grabbing derby could be something new and fun that we could do. And then, taking all that information back to the liaisons, the committee, and Chris to see kind of what's feasible. So I think there's a lot of good ideas I want to get, to get some more feedback on.
Could I?
DJ.
Sorry, go ahead.
What were the total number of people who responded to the survey? And do you know what percentage of people received the survey and chose to respond?
So I don't know the second question, because we've sent it out, Betty and I sent it out on all the different communication mediums, various times, various Facebook postings. I'd be shocked if it was less than 10 times total. I don't know the exact number, content was sent out, but on all the different, Buzz, Facebook, e-blast, all those things. But I know that 170 people took it, which is good. Think about households, if you talk about 170 households, say that'd be about 10%, depending on the latest updated census of Fairhaven. So that's another that I would know.
So you're guessing maybe 10%.
Of household, if you equate one submit to one household, it would be around 8 to 10%.
I found it interesting that 33 people didn't know you had a rec e-blast, but they filled out this survey. So it makes me think just on the communication side, if maybe we send out an email with all of our borough newsletter, specifically to all the places we sent this out, so that everyone's aware of all the different ways they can get information from us. Because it's kind of interesting that 33 people didn't even know that existed, but they care enough about rec to fill out the survey, but they didn't answer. One thing I will say about this, and we were made aware of this sort of after the fact, but we don't hit a lot about the senior population in this survey. I think moving forward, we could probably gear a little bit more of the questioning to some of the senior population or the older population. It is very youth heavy, and in truth, I saw this before it went out, so it didn't even occur to me. So I think that that's one area right away, moving forward, we can hit it.
Yes. Are we satisfied with the 10% response rate? We should definitely take it to the committee, no doubt, but in parallel to that, should we be also having these smaller targeted sessions with groups that perhaps didn't take a survey and access a survey, we're saying, or are we happy with the 10%?
I guess my question is this the type of thing we're gonna send out annually now? Is that the idea?
have more question for Chris. I don't know if for every.
And again,
Not that or.
And just from my approach on it, I think any data that you can get, and consistently from your residents, to get an idea, are we meeting the mark or not? I think it's important, so I would, whether we did it annually or whether we did it, biannually, I can gather information, how we continue to do better those. So I would say, yes, this would be a consistent thing, and even maybe going back to the committee themselves. You may want to do some follow-up, there may be some portion you might want to have some follow-up, on the information that we gather, and maybe kind of targeted survey procedures only, feel that that's a void that's in the data that we have, so. I don't think this ends here, I think this is just the beginning of how we continue to improve every program we have here.
I like the idea of using the same questions and adding additional questions, but based on the data, we can find out, what trends, are we going up in this category, are we going, so.
All of the staff times are involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will only, I'll say one thought, and I'm sure you guys all have thought as soon as I say it, but. Surveys can be part of the master plan process too, and with that out of the way. There's so we're kind of saturation point, when there's evidence from the applicant take surveys. Well, there's to be tactical about when we deploy it, when we get it back, and think about, where that threshold is for the community as a whole, so that we get good results. And I really, I just feel like the more opportunity we give for that influence that we back there. So I personally would never be survey. Sending surveys all day.
If someone doesn't call out survey, we say Betsy to knock on the door, right, Betsy?
I'll need a paper copy of that.
A Scantron?
Yeah,
I mean, it also could be something we do once we go back to rec and come up with some ideas or plans. We could even put out a survey, possibly based off of what we think we might do. And since we have this data, maybe that's the next step. But ultimately, like what I would love is like a plan and data of more like the consolidation came up a lot. That was definitely one of the themes. And I feel like it's important for us to really have a consolidation of understanding, at least, of all the different rec programs, all the different sports, how they are funded, who's running them, and just like a real report on how everything is working. I think that would be a great next step based off of this.
Thank you, DJ.
Thanks.
Next up, we have public comment on agenda items only. This is only for agenda items. Please observe a 3-minute time limit. Please then identify yourself by clearly stating your name and address for the record. Does anyone have anything on agenda items only? Allison, anyone online?
No.
All right, we're going on to approval of minutes, May 12th, 2025, regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
motion,
Allison, may I please have a roll call?
Councilmember Paul, yes, Sally.
Yes.
Tony? Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, old business, hearing the adoption of ordinances 2025-08, amend code 2.27.17B, exemption from fees. Do I have a motion to open?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone up here have anything on this? Anyone in the public have a comment on this? Allison?
No.
Do I have a motion to close?
second,
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Do I have a motion to approve?
motion, second,
Allison, may I please have a roll call?
Yes, Sally.
Yes.
Tony? Yeah. Pat?
yes,
Walter?
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-09 special emergency appropriation master plan preparation. Do I have a motion to open?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone have anything on this here? No, anyone in the public have anything on this? Allison?
No.
All right, do I have a motion to close?
motion,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Do I have a motion to approve?
motion,
Second.
Allison, may I please have a roll call?
Paul? Yes. Sally.
Yes.
Tony? Yeah.
No, that's 09, it's on. Yeah,
Yeah.
does that mean you can say no to 10?
Pat? Did you call me? Sorry, yes,
I apologize.
Yeah.
All right, new business, introduction of ordinances 2025-10, bond ordinance improvements to Foreman Street. Need to explain this, or anyone know where we're at on this? Yeah, we're good? All right.
Yeah, I would say just in relation to a DOT grant we received.
Sure.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
I was hoping you could, this is the meeting or an upcoming meeting, just a broad update on where we are with all streets, all.
I asked that question.
Oh, did you?
I just asked him today.
Okay, we can put together, engineer personnel line, together for the, next council.
Thank you. Yes.
Have a motion approved.
Yeah.
Second,
You're excited about 2025. Then, Allison, now please have a roll call.
Yeah, Susan Sullivan,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Tom,
yes,
Paul,
Yes.
Thank you. Consent agenda, were resolutions 2025-159 through 170. Before I ask for a motion, does anyone want to separate anything off this consent agenda? No, does anyone want to discuss anything on the consent agenda? No, do I have a motion to approve?
second,
Allison, may I please have a roll
Councilmembers Paul,
yeah,
Susan Sullivan,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Tom,
yes,
Paul.
Yes.
call? Thank you. Next up, department reports, April 2025. Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I forgot. This is, yeah.
Who's not there?
Is there a second?
Second.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, for the borough, please stand and identify yourself by clearly stating your name and address to the record. Please observe a time limit of 3 minutes. Anyone go to the borough? Nope. Let's try to make that, and then I'll come right back to you. Allison? Anyone?
Only for Tony.
It's fine. Privilege and, honored to let you know that the Historic Association of Fairhaven would like to make a donation to Fairhaven and bicentennial in particular. The board voted to support the creation and installation of a wind plan as sort of a finishing touch on bicentennial hall, with the hope of it being completed in time for the commission's birthday. We have taken no steps yet other than being authorized to commit funds and really come to the governing body to propose this plan. Next steps would definitely include interviewing landscape architects, reviewing costs, every step of the way. Obviously, iterations on design and feedback from the governing body would happen incrementally over time. So that this is part of the process. If it sounds okay, we'll take the next step and come back to the governing body with updates ongoing.
Sounds great. Thank you. Yeah, sounds great. Anyone else? We're good?
I was really proud of us being ahead of the like ordinance last year because we were ahead of some of these towns. I'm just curious, Chief, from your perspective, is like whether it's nicer and because of riding bikes more, I'm seeing a big uptick on Facebook and other towns around e-bike incidents, unfortunately, I'm just curious how that's going along for us.
Well, we got, like I said, 8 stop kids that are, not doing something appropriate, we actually have a track of that.
Yeah.
And, the PDA actually, just bought, or buying, buying, coupons, like, they're really giving coupons or whatever stuff. We'll do that again every year.
How, in terms of like, what do you see trend wise? Like, are there more bikes, are people?
Well, it's like this time of year, definitely like working bikes, like, you
Yeah.
can't get it on. That's been fairly quiet, I think it's been on the other day, right here, on Cedar. But yeah, I mean, I think it's better than it was, you know, when it first came out, I think people were a little more aware of it.
Chief, is there a program in place at the schools for these kids?
Oh, we did the fall, and we did the, bike rodeo, and then the information went out to everybody over. You know, the people out, put out, and then we go to the thing from parents, falls.
Did you address the bikes at the bike rodeo?
Oh, you have to be parents out of it.
Thank you.
Great. With that being said, we're going to move towards executive session. For any student journalists that may be in here, every one of our meetings is only 40 minutes long, so we don't need to do that. All right, do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn to executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
We are there. Motion to close the meeting. Motion.